Welcome to the show this morning. Today, the first case of the new virus has been confirmed in the U.S. According to officials at the CDC, 3 weeks ago, we heard of the first cases in Asia. 2 weeks ago, it hit Europe, and now it's officially crossed the ocean and hit our shores. The president, under guidance of health officials, have announced recommendations for Americans to stay home whenever possible to limit the spread of the virus. Federal government is also following the European Union in stopping flights leaving and entering the country and shutting the borders to everyone who is not a citizen returning from abroad. Several governors have announced that if the spread of the virus is not curtailed, mandatory measures may have to be taken. Good morning, and welcome to Lockdown. The federal government has now put the country on mandatory stay-at-home orders that went into effect at 10 p.m. last night. Only essential workers are allowed to leave home for work. According to the government order, only one member of each household is allowed to leave home once per week to get groceries or other necessary supplies. However, we have not been told what will be considered necessary at this point. I don't know about you, America, but this is an overstep of powers and like putting every American on house arrest without a trial, without charges, and without cause. To date, we have had 40,000 confirmed cases of the virus and 1,600 deaths. Day 24 of lockdown, America. The CDC announced this morning that 5 companies are officially working on vaccines and that extraordinary measures are being taken to get that vaccine to the public. The CDC has also said they do not expect the lockdown to be lifted until a vaccine is available. Welcome to day 45 of pandemic. According to the World Health Organization officials this morning, they believe the virus originated in a lab studying core drillings of the ice in the Arctic. They further elaborated that this specimen may have been one of the first flu-like viruses to have existed. Day 57. We've been in this lockdown for almost 2 months at this point. Small businesses are closing their doors left and right. People are being laid off by the thousands. The official jobs report will be released this Thursday. Economists are expecting that an additional 40 million Americans have been laid off and expecting the unemployment numbers to reach 20%. Day 66 of lockdown. The president's office announces this morning that Congress will be passing legislation this week to allow anyone working on a vaccine to skip some of the normal steps in the FDA approval process. The loss of life in any situation is terrible, and I'm sorry that families are having to experience this, but when just over 1% of the population has gotten this virus and 96% of them are or have recovered, do we really want the government to allow companies to skip steps in the approval process and rush something to the market? It's day 95 of lockdown. Last night, the president went on live TV to explain that the first vaccine is now available, and he received his vaccine live on air from the chief White House doctor. The vaccine will be delivered to the states over the next few weeks, and the state health departments will be deploying them to hospitals and pharmacies. He said that every American will need to have this vaccination to be allowed to return to work unless there is an underlying health situation that would be made worse by the vaccine. Welcome to the show this morning. Some of the world is starting to return to normal, and it is estimated that approximately 50% of the country has received the vaccine. I don't know if I can believe that a vaccine that was rushed through production within 4 months of the first case is going to be effective against the virus. I'm not getting it, but I understand why so many people are. The economic toll that the response to the virus has caused is much worse than the virus ever was. We have been put in a terrible situation. The government has overstepped their traditional roles. Now people just want to get back to work. They must get back to work to afford to live. It's been 8 months. 8 months since the first case showed up in this country. We saw a virus unlike anything else, except it wasn't unlike anything else. It was like the flu. We saw the government rush to get a vaccine to make us feel safe. And now I am sad to say we have officially seen 5,000 deaths of vaccine recipients. The CDC doesn't seem to have any answer as to why these people are dying, But they all have one thing in common. They got the vaccine. Maybe, Mr. CDC official, this is why you required all these protocols to approve a drug in the first place. You know, all the ones you skipped for this one. And now it's too late. The vaccine has been distributed globally. It's already been administered to an estimated 98% of the world's population, and we have no idea who will react negatively. "14 months. That's how long it took to kill the country. There's no government officials left. Over 95% of the country dead. Or at least that was the last figure I saw when there was still news broadcasting. We need to be together, now more than ever. It's been years since the last time I heard the sound of anyone else's voice. I keep trying to broadcast every day in hopes that someone, anyone else, is out there. Please. I don't know how much longer I can do this alone. Is there anyone else alive?